Austin Abeyta, welcome to the It's Not That Deep podcast,
All
bro.
right, it's good to be here, man.
It's really nice to have you on, bro. I have not done one of these in person in a long time, so I might be a little rusty, but dude, I'm just so excited that I got to meet you. I mean, I'm sitting here with the digital Bromad. I've been following you on TikTok for some time, and just serendipity led us to kind of meeting each other this week, and great to have you here, man.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you watching. And to be in Medellin, too, at the same time, like, it's meant to happen.
It's meant to happen, bro. Dude, you have an insane story. So for the last 6 months, you've been traveling, doing a lot of solo travel, a lot of partying, working remotely, documenting your journey, and also blowing up on TikTok while you're at it. Talk me through this, man. What got you into this whole space?
Yeah, it's crazy. So basically, I was wanting to travel for a long time, and I wasn't able to figure out how to do it. I never saw anyone really doing it, and I didn't even know what a digital nomad was, really, until my coronavirus hit, work went remote, and that's when my options started working out. I told my managers, like, just let me go to Mexico for 1 month. If I fuck up, I'll be on the first plane ticket back. Yeah. And then I went there, worked my ass off, and then I've gotten looser each month. I probably need to reel it back a little bit, but I've been getting looser each month. Stayed remote. I love it, man. I don't know if I'm going back.
So just to give people who don't know, what do you do for work?
I'm a data engineer / data analyst. So a lot of like Excel spreadsheets, a lot of querying databases, that kind of stuff.
Okay, sweet. And so before the pandemic and everything, you worked in the office. You actually had to go into work, and this was in Colorado. Which city?
This was actually in Seattle.
Okay, this is in Seattle. All right, so you worked in Seattle, but you're from Colorado.
Yes.
Okay, sweet. And so you were working this job, basically like a 9 to 5, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and then the pandemic hits, and you're like, you know what? This is a great opportunity for me to go remote. I think this is a kind of a common story, but what's not common is what you went and did with it. Right?
Yeah, I guess.
A lot of people you hear about kind of doing the whole digital nomad thing. They do the solo travel for a few weeks or a few months or whatever, and then they come back. But you seem like you don't really have any intention of coming back anytime soon.
No, I feel like this is my new life. I feel like it's going to be a long time till I burn that urge to just go see new places away. It's addicting. It's addicting.
Dude. It is. I mean, I could speak from personal experience, man. Like when I was in university, I was lucky. I got to go on international exchange. I studied in Norway, and before then, like just being someone who's Canadian, I haven't really been outside of my boring hometown of Ottawa, Ontario. Like in Canada, just a pretty boring government town. Not much really going on there. But I got to go and study in Bergen, Norway, and I met people from all around the world. And I was there for 8 months, got to do a bunch of travel all around Europe, just a bunch of different countries. It's like hopping on a bus or plane there. It's just crazy. It's just so easy to get around, and I got to really experience travel for the first time. And like for me, solo travel was something that really, really opened my eyes, and like I know it's corny, but broadened my horizon. Talk to me about the importance of solo travel in your journey, man.
Oh man, I've traveled with groups before, and it's like someone wants to see some shit you don't want to see. Someone's like, we gotta check out the farmer's market, and you're like, fuck, and it's a whole day, and it's a vacation, so you got a limited amount of days. And I just like being able to see the shit I want to see on my time frame. You know what I mean? Yeah. Every weekend feels like it's on vacation. As soon as I clock out work, Medellin's out my front door. And I love just being able to do whatever I want to do.
Dude, and you hit the nail on the head. Like you have to. Everyone has different energies when they travel. Someone you grew up with and could be your best friend.
That's a good point.
If you've never traveled with them, you don't know what, like you maybe never lived with them, maybe never like traveled with them even like domestically. But when you travel internationally, you really learn a lot about someone. And you learn a lot about yourself. You're like, I have these things. Like for example, like I'm here with my cousin, right? And when we first came to Colombia last year, we went to Bogota, and I remember he wanted to go see the sites. He hadn't traveled as much, and he wanted to see like the main sites. Go to Monserrate, you go to these salt mines and these things. And I was like, it's cool. Like we'll do it. I support it. I think it's important to I'm a tourist, but I kind of hate on touristy stuff. But I'm a tourist.
So, I'm the same.
Sometimes you gotta just be a tourist, right?
Yeah.
But my battery runs out with that stuff. Like I'll go in a couple hours. I'm like, all right, man. Like we saw the thing, we took our photos. Like enough's enough.
Yeah, yeah.
And, you know, he wanted to stay, take more photos, relax, chill, enjoy the whole spot. And I'm like, you know what? That just shows that there's kind of sometimes different types of travelers, right? But you know, all that to say, we've kind of found a way to like balance that, living together and stuff. Have you mixed group travel with the solo travel in this last 6 months?
That's a good question. I've definitely flown some girls to come hang out to see, which is a risk. That is a fucking risk. But sometimes it works out great. Sometimes it doesn't.
Flying out girls and stuff.
No, it's well. What it is it sounds way cooler than it is. I'm flying girls from like Cali to Medellin. So it's like
it's like a
$40 flight. I'm pretending like I'm Drake. I'll fly you out here. It's like $40.
Okay.
So it's great. And then I like having someone that speaks Spanish because I feel like you save that $40 on like the gringo price stuff. Like we go out and like the ticket pays for itself, and I always have a cute date. And especially if she's never been to Medellin before, it's all like she's got that exciting energy.
It's kind of like a win-win-win. Like everyone's kind of exploring something new, even if it's in your own country.
Yeah, it's great. But it's gone wrong. What I was going to say is it's gone wrong a couple times.
Yeah, man. You know, for anyone who follows you on TikTok, you're someone who, you know, does such a good job of showing not only the glamorous and like fun side of being able to do what you're doing, but also some of the dark side. And you know, there's this one video where you were talking about getting robbed.
Yeah, I got robbed by a Colombian girl.
By a Colombian girl, man. Why don't you do, you know, for my listeners, tell that story a little bit.
Okay. So just trying to back up, like my whole idea with the TikTok was to just be as authentic and just show good and bad, show everything. Because I think society's moving away from like the whole highlight reel of your, like I see that and I don't feel invested, you know, like I like seeing the actual stuff that happened. Yeah. So there was a night we were, I think it was like a third night here maybe? It was an early day here. Like I just got to Medellin. We're hanging out at the club. We meet some cool chicks. We're like drinking. It's like end of the night. So I'm talking like sun rising, walking back. I have a friend Alejandro's from Mexico City and he's telling me the whole time like, look out for that girl. Watch out for that girl. And I just didn't listen to him. We go back to my place. Things are going okay. I just got there, so my suitcase is open and all my shit's everywhere, right? I have a $100 bill, an emergency $100 bill, just in case everything gets stolen, my passport, my cards. I need to go to the embassy. I need to get a taxi to the embassy and some food and some, you know what I mean? I just have this $100 bill.
It's your reserve. It's like your backup plan.
Exactly. And that was the only thing that got stolen, which was my reserve, which is weird that she got it and took it. But I don't know. I didn't realize until afterwards putting my stuff away, and then all of a sudden it's gone, and it's like, but it happens, man. You got to be careful. And I think it's good to tell the truth too, so people don't get this not an understand like a view of Colombia. Like, I love it. Trust me, that didn't turn me away. Medellin's the best place ever. Don't let that turn you away from coming here, but also keep your wits about you.
You know, it's something that could happen anywhere in the world.
Yeah,
it's
not
true.
About
Medellin, and like, you know, you get this in your comments all the time, and I get this in real life to people and family and friends who talk to me, but it's like, well, but isn't Colombia dangerous, or isn't insert, you know, country like really dangerous?
Yeah.
You could get kidnapped, you could get robbed. It's like, yes, like that could happen, but it could also happen pretty much anywhere, man. Like, you know, I'm from a pretty like first world nation with like, you know, everything's very developed, and people get kidnapped, people get robbed, people get shot.
Yeah.
You know, things happen, man.
The odds are so small of getting like kidnapped and like what everyone says, like, so I wish I wouldn't do that, but I don't want to have my kidney harvested or something like that.
That's a common.
That's like, every time you see someone swimming, you're like, there's sharks. Do you know about sharks? Like, oh, you're crazy for going to the beach because there's sharks. Like, it's just, the odds are so low.
Speaking, you know, going back to what you were saying a second ago, though, man, like that's what I find, and that's why you've got such an amazing TikTok audience and everything like that, is because you're so authentic. Every story that you're telling, everything that you're documenting. I mean, right now you're doing a 30-day daily vlog challenge.
Yeah,
or something like that.
I'm trying to. I took some days off because I got fucked up, but yeah.
That's life. But what I love about that, like, is that you're really putting yourself out there and being vulnerable to not only, you know, the negativity and like people judging you and people putting you in some type of, you know, box, but also like, you know, I don't know how it is with your work peers and stuff like that, but how people, you know, like outside of the TikTok world,
Yeah.
how they judge you, how they view you, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
How do you find like balancing being authentic and vulnerable, and then also keeping like some things just like, yo, like this is just for me?
Yeah, there's definitely some stuff that's just for me. Like, and I also, it started to interfere a little bit with my personal life. Like, I just went on a date with a girl last night, and she knew about my TikTok, and she knows it's like, oh, you got this thing about big booty Latinas, like, bro. And I'm not gonna pull out my phone and be like, oh, by the way, let me get this TikTok video, and she's gonna know, oh, I'm just someone for his TikTok.
I'm just trying to have a good night and just chill. Like,
yeah, exactly. So it's like I kind of have to save some things, but my friends and family know that like who I am on TikTok is who I am. So there's no real pushback from them. They're just like, oh, it's fucking Austin doing this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
it's still gotta be like it kind of new, right? Because I mean, like 7 months ago, you were not TikTok famous. You were not putting out this content. You weren't doing this type of travel. I mean, I'm sure you've traveled in the past, but not like this.
Yeah.
Right. So like, is it an adjustment, or are you just the type of person you just roll with the punches and it's like, I don't really give a shit?
I feel like it's funny. I took a personality test, and there's like these 5 personality traits, and one of them is orderliness, and I rank in the 100th percentile of least orderly.
Okay.
So like I can live in a dirty room. I can live in a different spot, and I think that's just, and it's a bad thing, but I think in this scenario it's actually a pro.
Okay.
That allows me to just be like, yeah, I don't know where I'm staying tomorrow, or I'll have to stay in a dorm room, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or a nice Airbnb, you know, it's always something different.
That benefits, I mean, the story that you're telling and the content that you're putting out as well, because, you know, something we talked about when we first met is like, you're able to kind of create content that caters to people with all budgets and all backgrounds, going to kind of all countries. You know, and that's something that's really unique, because you're not so bougie that you need to be in the 4 seasons, but you're also like, you know, I could stay in a hostel, I could stay in like a whatever, but like, it's just, you just, from what I gather, from what I like, you know, the content and me meeting you, is that you're just down, you're just easy, like, it's just like, whatever, man. Like, and that's why I think you and Jamie get along so well, you know, as well.
Yeah.
Jamie, you know, my business partner, for those who don't know, he basically is very much the same. I've seen Jamie be happy with like a tiny bed and like a little hostel, $4 a night, you know, traveling around Asia and whatnot, to, you know, living a little bit more lavish in some nice, you know, 4 or 5-star hotels, and like eating pretty good meals and doing this and that. So I think it speaks to the adaptability and just being able to kind of like, you know, quickly move and adjust. Would you say that that's kind of like one of your like pillars of your personality? Yeah,
that's so like, yeah, that I never heard it framed that way, and I've never really even thought about it like that. But I think you hit the nail on the head. Is like, that is sort of, you know, when I do the daily vlog and the cost, some days are $300, some days are $36. You know what I mean? And it's like, I like the vibe of both.
Yeah.
Sometimes the hostel vibe is more fun. You know what I mean? Because you meet people who are also down for whatever, and a bottle means more. You bring like a cheap bottle to a hostel, people are like, fuck yeah, dude, yeah.
Dude, I've experienced that firsthand when I was like traveling all around Europe. Is I pretty much exclusively stayed in hostels. And the best part about hostels, and for me solo travel, was meeting these people from around the world who have the same mindset. The same, they're kind of, you know, if I'm sharing a room with like 8 to 12 random strangers who I've never met before, you know, I've got to be a pretty open-minded person who likes travel and likes meeting new people.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, that's the type of person who stays in, you know, at least in the hostels I've been to.
Yeah, no, it's true.
And, you know, sometimes I just like, you know, go to have dinner outside, or, you know, patio or rooftop or something like that. And, you know, those social hostels like you talk about and stuff, you know, you just sit down and have a drink, and like, people join you, and then you meet their friends, and then I've had it where like big groups of people just came from me sitting down with a bottle, and one Australian crazy motherfucker comes up and he's just like, "Hey mate, mind if I join you?" Like,
it's always the Australians.
It's always
they get
the
it going.
But yeah, man, you know, I want to kind of switch gears a little bit and start diving a little bit into like the different countries you've been to, and the different vibe. Walk me through the 6 months. Like, which countries have you been to?
Yeah, so started out in Mexico. So I went to Mexico and did Playa del Carmen first. My trip started out horribly. My Airbnb was like in the hood, and this was when I was brand new and was like just overwhelmed. So that first month was where I actually canceled the Airbnb and went to Cancun instead. And that was the first time I went to a Selena. A Selena's like a travel hostel brand out here. Yeah, they're great. They're great. The hosts all speak English. Very like, it's like high-end hostel.
Okay, yeah. I fuck with those.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah. You get best of both worlds. Yeah, exactly.
No bed bugs generally. Like,
right?
Yeah.
But people out your door, like people could stay in dorm rooms there or private rooms. So you get a good mix. And ever since, it was like the best. I don't know. Okay, I want to not spend too long on here, but I'll tell you this is kind of funny. So this was back when coronavirus just started, right? So Brazilians had to stay somewhere else other than Brazil for 2 weeks before they returned to the States. And that was the exact time I went to Cancun and classes were starting back up. So it was a bunch of Brazilian athletes, like Brazilian volleyball players, like a bunch of women and men Brazilian athletes were all in this one spot. And it was the worst idea ever because all they did was fucking party their asses off in Mexico, probably catch the coronavirus, and then go into the States.
Oh my God.
But that experience was just like so strong of partying with these. They were so wild. It was so much fun. They brought me into their inner circle. It was like me and a bunch of Brazilians partying. And that was the start of it all. And I think that was such a good, like got off on the right foot that I just wanted to keep going. Tulum, crazy expensive, but really cool. And then I went to Costa Rica. That's when I had my family come out. You asked about people coming out. Sometimes I'll invite family members out. So the family came and that was a whole different experience. And then I went to Spain for a little bit, just 2 weeks. Brazil, Colombia, back home, and then back to Colombia.
Dude, that is a ride.
It was a ride.
It
was a ride.
My last 6 months have been here in Colombia, and that was enough of an adventure compared to what life was like back home. But I think I'm about to enter into kind of a similar phase of hopping around place to place.
Yeah, you're jumping around the U.S., right?
Yeah, I'm gonna be like all around the U.S. I'm gonna be going to Europe in the summer. Probably go back to Canada for a bit, and then whatever in between. I might come back here. I might do a Costa Rica. I'm inspired by a lot of your travel, man. A lot of the places you've been to, I want to go. I have a lot of friends in Brazil, and great Brazilians are just
they're the best.
Amazing people.
They're the best.
They're just so warm and they're so inviting and loving, and I love their culture so much. I'm scared of the whole Portuguese thing because I barely got Spanish down.
Yeah.
Figured out yet. I'm just gonna go and confuse my whole thing going down to Brazil. But yeah, man. Like, tell me some of the highlights of Brazil for you. I want to hear about that, man.
As far as Portuguese, like, yo no falo português bien. Like, that's basically what all you had to say. Like, I don't speak Portuguese. I know obrigado, which is like thank you. And I was like surviving on that. And a conta is la cuenta. Okay. And I was just talking with my hands or just figuring it out Google Translate. So you could do it, but it's way different than Spanish. But it was great, man. Rio, I stayed the whole time in Rio. Okay. Rio is the most beautiful city. Medellin's my favorite city, but Rio is crazy. You have Christ the Redeemer looking over you at all times. Giant hills, these crazy beaches. It was amazing. I actually went into the favelas in Brazil too. That was one of the highlights, was going into the favelas. I could get into that. And then meeting the women out in Brazilian women are amazing too. And they're a lot, to me, they're a lot warmer. Like, they're a lot more like, so not physically, but
you like
emotionally.
Brazilian women more than Colombian.
Oh man, I can't go on camera and say it. I can't let that. I don't want that on tape. I don't know.
Yeah, you gotta think
I need to meet more of both. I need a bigger sample size.
That's a safe answer, man. This guy's got it figured out.
I'm a data analyst. I like lots of data. I need more data points, the better.
So you have a spreadsheet?
No, not a whip, but I do have a lot of spreadsheets. Not gonna lie.
Oh man, that's fucking hilarious. But yeah, bro, Brazil sounds incredible. What are some highlights from Costa Rica?
Costa Rica was a weird trip because I was with my mom and my family the whole time.
Right.
And it was like a lot of beaches, a lot of okay, so I rented a stick shift car in Costa Rica, and I don't know how to drive stick because that's all they have. Yeah. So I'm renting the car. She's filling out the paperwork. I'm with my ex-girlfriend at the time, and I'm Googling how to start a manual car, which is the hardest I didn't know it was the hardest part. I figured I would go and then go into a parking lot and get it. But starting the cars like that, if you can do that, you might as well be driving manual. So it's hard as fuck. I didn't understand the clutch thing, and she gets me into the car. We just signed the paperwork of the insurance, and I go to start it, and of course fucking stall out. And then she's like, all right, yeah, it's a new car. And then I do it again, and then she's like, okay. And then I do it again, and then she's like, roll your window down. And she's standing right next to me. I don't want to roll my window down because if we don't have this car, I can't make it to the airport to pick up my family.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
And this is like I was the day of I decided to get this fucking car. And so we do it. Eventually she rolls the window down and tells me the e-brake is on, first of all. And and that, because you don't put it in park, you got to e-brake it. Yeah, and so I'm like, okay, that was it. And then I'm like, this is it. She's going to take this car away. And of course it's like, and I'm like, bye. And I just take off and skirt down the street. And like, yeah, and then I just figured out. Yeah, that's probably why she's.
It's crazy that in North America, man, we don't like drive stick, and like
yeah,
that's something that I always feel like so stupid. Like I feel dumb when I come to like Latin America or Europe or places where it's like that's the main type of driving. I'm like, why don't I know this? Like it would take me probably a day or two to learn, but I just never feel the need to because I always have an automatic car, you know?
Yeah, it's true. And there's kind of like a man thing to it too. Like men need to drive stick or something like that.
Like masculinity tied to like being able to drive stick. But it's like it doesn't seem like a hard thing to learn. It's just if you never had to do it, why would
Oh yeah. Actually, I lied. My dad tried teaching me one time, so I had a little bit of experience.
Okay.
But still, I'm still not good. I still can't drive. And Costa Rica's like hilly. And hills are the fucking worst on stick. People here are like, the drivers here, I'm impressed. Like now that I can try to drive, I see them do shit and I'm like, damn, man.
Up the hills and stuff too. It's like I rented a car and just drove around the mountains over the weekend. And I found it so crazy that like people are doing that with like these really shitty cars.
Yeah.
Stuff like it's like, okay, good for you.
Is it the same way in Europe?
Europe, yeah, pretty much for the most part. I found that it's pretty hard to find automatic cars when you go to rent them.
We're the only ones.
I was in Greece one time with a buddy of mine, and we go to rent a car, and like we went to multiple agencies. They looked at us like idiots. Like, why would you? What, you can't drive stick?
Yeah.
Like, so you can't
what are you,
drive?
A girl?
It's like, yeah, they're like, so you can't drive? It's like, no, I could drive. I just like, so you don't have a license then? It's like, no, I just don't drive stick.
Damn, they were hitting you with like, you don't have a license.
And then finally we got to one place and they're like, oh no, we got just a car. They pull out a smart car. Like a smart car.
Okay, yeah. You're a big dude, yeah.
Fucking smart car.
Yeah, dude.
Trying to whip around the mountains in Greece in a fucking smart car, but made it work. It was actually kind of fun, man.
Okay, I need to see the photo of you in the smart. I feel like the steering wheel looks like this.
It's honestly not as bad as I thought.
Okay,
inside,
okay.
It's like, it's not too bad.
You got to give me some European advice. Like I want to travel Europe, and I need to know.
Bro. My favorite country. So the first country I ever traveled solo was Italy. And Italy, I just fell in love with that country, bro.
Yes, I want to go to Italy.
Obviously, it started off in like Rome. Rome's cool because obviously
the history, all of that,
everything. You see all these amazing, architectural things, art things, Vatican City, and it's a pretty walkable city too. You walk around everywhere, but obviously. I mean, you talk about I was talking about not fucking with touristy stuff too much.
Yeah.
That is the mecca of tourism, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But as soon as you get out of Rome and you get off the beaten path a little bit, you have a great time. But my favorite part, and I went to a bunch of cities in Italy, but my favorite part was the Amalfi Coast, man.
I haven't even heard of it.
Down in Sorrento, oh bro. It is absolutely gorgeous. You should
definitely
put that on your list, bro, because it's it's the coastal vibes, but in Italy. So it's
right.
That you want.
I'm a foodie too, so it's Italy's got to be great.
Italy, you can eat pasta, pizza, and all the amazing food every day and not gain a pound.
Why?
The ingredients are so fresh. You're walking around all day. I feel like there's different standards in Europe for what's considered food compared to
oh my god,
North
yeah.
America,
we're the worst. Yeah. We're the worst.
Exactly. So you just feel better and you can actually pig out and not. I swear to God, you don't really gain weight, man. It's crazy.
I love pasta and stuff. Speaking of that, like people think when they're like, oh, you're in Mexico or you're in Colombia, like you get diarrhea and stuff when you eat. It's like I get that when I go back to America. Like there's so much shit in our food.
Dude, that is like a topic that we could explore for a long time. But just touching on it, man. When I came down to Colombia the first time last year, I noticed that, and back in Canada, like, I mean, we got a lot, like the 4 seasons, but like the worst of all of it, right? Like, in winter it's minus 40.
Yeah.
In the spring, all the snow's melted and now all the allergens in the air. The fall, I like the fall. It's my favorite season. And then obviously winter again. But like my allergies are crazy in Canada. Like I can't breathe out of my nose properly.
I'm the same.
Like, fixed my deviated septum. I've tried every nasal spray in the world. Benadryl.
Do you do the neti pot?
I've tried that. I tried everything, man. Nothing worked. I land in Colombia, gone. Absolutely no problems breathing.
I love it.
Everything, like skin clears up. And it has to do with the air and the food, right? Like
I think 100%. 100%.
It's so important, man. And I think you put a video out on like breathing posture. Something.
That's something I'm also passionate about that I just decided to put out on TikTok. It was my most viewed video. It's just crazy. It's my most viewed video. I'm like out with these Colombian girls and I recorded a video just from me sitting in a chair talking about breathing, and that blew up the most. It's so weird.
That's the frustrating thing about TikTok is you think you got to figure it out. You think you know what your audience wants. You think like you got a system and a process, but then it's like, okay, I'm gonna put out this random video that is, you care about it and it's something meaningful, and it does the best.
Yeah,
right?
so weird.
I think the crazy part about that though, and like going back to TikTok and stuff for a second, right? I mean, as you know,
I'm gonna get another one too.
My business partner Jamie and I, we run, obviously a TikTok marketing agency. I think that's why we click so well in the TikTok regard, right?
I love that, by the way.
But like documenting your journey and creating content and all that stuff. Cheers, by the way, brother.
Yeah.
What I was getting to and what I was kind of saying there is that with TikTok, what we've seen with our clients is like the things that work and don't work. You just have to test. You just have to put stuff out there. And I think one of the reasons. I'm not an expert at all at this stuff, but one of the reasons why that video probably popped so well is because you already have a bit of a following. You're extremely authentic in talking about things that you actually care about, and TikTok is an entertainment platform that recognizes that, and people it comes through the content where people, even if they're not your main followers or whatever, the people who see that and relate with it are like, yo, I just trust what this guy's saying for some reason.
Yeah, it's weird. It's so weird.
Thing, and then you share it and you watch it again and that kind of stuff. It's just cool how that works.
It is so weird. I know exactly what you're talking about. And by the way, your team is amazing.
Thank you, bro.
Jamie's amazing. All this stuff is so high quality. Like, I watch the clips from your guys' pages and it's just like, oh shit, these guys are really doing this. Like, these guys are doing it for real.
I appreciate it.
I love it.
I definitely, try not to make the podcast an ad or anything for the agency in any regard, but it is
true.
Something that we're doing, and it's something that enables us to live this life. I mean, 6 months ago, dude, I was working full time in the federal government. Like, I had a 9-to-5 job while building this thing. And for me, one of the things that I struggled with so much with my 9-to-5 was I just didn't care. Like, it wasn't something I gave a shit about at all. And so I had to find a way to do something else. And luckily, Jamie and I have been building this for, year and a half now. And we've gotten to a point now where we're not only blowing up our clients on TikTok and making all their content stuff, but starting to do it for ourselves. Yeah. And I just started my TikTok journey as well, which is like something that took me way too long to get started on. And it's always like embarrassing to me to like talk to people about TikTok and running an agency and getting people millions of views and followers and all this stuff, but I can't crack like 100 followers because I never cared to make TikTok.
All what you're saying, I think about TikTok a lot, and all what you're saying is so true. It's like TikTok's biggest growing demographic, I think, is like 20 to 30 year olds, but they're all afraid to use it. So there's like not a lot of 30-year-olds making or like in that age group, because TikTok has this weird, it still has this weird stigma about it. And that's why I think you guys are going to win, because you're taking it seriously now when not enough people are. And in 3 years, it's going to be the thing. Like, I have laughed harder on TikToks. I like watch it more than YouTube. It's way more addicting, way more fun. I think you guys are on the right path.
Dude, I really appreciate that so much, man. We definitely do see the future of this platform and what it's doing for people. Honestly, like, it feels better from a community standpoint using TikTok over any other social media platform.
Yeah,
right?
it's yeah.
Like, because Instagram, you were kind of touching on this before without even calling out Instagram, but you're basically saying that, like, it's a trophy case where people are just showing the highlights of, here's the most glamorous part of my trip to Tulum.
Yes,
but
yes.
You're never gonna put the shitty Airbnb experience as a post on Instagram, because
so true.
Whereas on TikTok, that's a fucking whole story. That's a series, and that's a thing that people comment on, and then you can respond to the comment with a video, and like, you're actually building a tangible community that's kind of all on the same path. And then when you get to meet the people in person, I just think it's the coolest thing in the world. That's why, like, getting a little meta here, but it's cool to be doing it here on the podcast.
No, it's so cool, man. It's so cool, and you put it so perfectly, framed it the way I didn't even know I was thinking about it like this. But it is a trophy case. It is, no one puts and it makes me wonder if I should just do it and see what happens. Like, just put that out there. The worst photos. Dude. Like a blurry photo. Like, what? I don't know. Sorry. We shouldn't be brainstorming about this.
Why not?
It might be, but
okay, who cares?
But like, who knows if that would do well.
I think, like, if you started, like, the thing is, it's not one-to-one. You can't just put what you put on TikTok, put it on Instagram, and hope that it does well. You still gotta Instagramify it.
It's so weird.
Be a little bit more visual and cinematic and capture people's attention, in a different way. But at the same time, what's to say you can't tell a non-glamorous story in a glamorous way? Maybe there's something there.
Yeah.
No one shows you their house with the dishes in the sink. But if you made a video about, like, you went live while doing dishes,
right? Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
People go viral just eating a bite of a burger on TikTok. Type of stuff,
right? It's so weird.
So the same book could pop on Instagram. I don't know. All I know about Instagram and all these platforms now is they're copying TikTok.
Yeah,
they're going
TikTok
all in on video, all in on the short style, vertical video content style. You're seeing all these people who have a little bit of money put a lot more money and investment in the production of their TikToks, making things look better. The subtitles, basically like what we do in our agency for our clients who are willing to pay for that kind of thing. But the beautiful part about TikTok is that's not necessary.
It's not necessary.
It's a nice to have.
But it's good. But it's great. Like, I think it looks good, but I don't know. I nerd out about this, because that's why I love your group, by the way, because I talk about this shit all the time. I think about it all the time, and my friends just aren't about, they are in the life, you know what I mean? They don't live it. But I think it's guaranteed captions, do watch time and all this, and it's like, I think just a lot of people aren't taking it as serious as it needs to be, because they don't see the future of it. In 3 years, however they start monetizing and however the ad space starts working on TikTok, I think people with 100,000 million followers are going to actually start getting money the way they do if they were on YouTube,
Well, we have a mutual friend here, Mike Rama. Shout out to Mike. And, you guys should all follow him on TikTok, by the way. But basically, Mike has carved out this vertical of this TikTok space that basically helps brands connect with creators, right? I think that's like genius, because I literally had a call today with someone who has over 350,000 followers, blue checks, everything.
Nice.
Can't monetize their brand. Can't figure out how to make money off their following and the community that they've built. And it's like, that is just going to become a legitimate income stream for most creators in the future. But you have to take that kind of seriously now and like reverse engineer that. And we have a client. And again, I hate like
no, it's good. It's good. I like
a
it.
promotion, but our good buddy and client Hayden Cashin. So shout out to Hayden. You guys should follow Hayden Cashin as well. But basically, he just hit 100K followers, and he had this lofty goal when he started working with us to get to 100,000 followers in 30 days, which is like any TikTok creator knows that's not easy to do.
That's a grind,
You're
man. That's
definitely
a
not
grind.
gonna, you could do it if you're putting out an insane volume and you have a couple goals, stupid viral, god tier.
Yeah,
virality.
it's true.
But for the most part, you're not. We even knew it's like, okay, look, I'd love to help you with this, but we'll see, like what happens.
Yeah.
I think, Jamie, how many followers did Hayden get in the first month?
About 5,000.
About 5,000.
So in the first 30 days, from 100,000, and it's like,
he only got
I'm at
5,000. 275 days since starting that goal, he now hit 100K.
Such a good feeling.
And his view on it has changed so much, where it's like, it's not even about the follower count. It's about this deep community that he's built with people who actually recognize him. I'm not at liberty to discuss the financials, but my dude is doing well for his business. Off TikTok alone. That's without any kind of real partnerships or anything like that. It's just funneling it back into his own business and his new education company, which he started as well. So
that's awesome.
That just shows to me that that's not even 1 year of focused effort on growing his account and his following in an authentic and real way in a very, very crowded marketing space, right? Imagine 10 years from now.
Yeah, exactly. And it snowballs because you get better at it.
That's the one thing I will say that Gary Vee got.
He gets a lot of shit, bro. I like Gary Vee.
I like Gary Vee too, man. But like, I think he's become a bit of a meme
people are roasting him pretty hard
in the culture. But he takes it like a champ, so that's what I like about Gary Vee. But he if you really fundamentally distill his message, it's stop caring what people think and just put the content out there. I'll be the first to admit, I care what people think. When I go to put an Instagram story out, I might record it a couple times because I'm like, oh, I fumbled this one word, or I did this thing wrong, or whatever. But you recognize that those times when you say fuck it, I'm gonna just post it, or fuck it, I'm gonna just put it out. I'm sure you feel that with some of your TikToks
100%.
when you're about to hit send. Fuck it, I'm putting it out.
Fuck it. Here we go.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's how it is. How it is a lot of the time.
You do that enough, people feel that. That's why you're kind of able to be so successful, man. Why don't you speak on that a little bit, like the authenticity and remaining real on these platforms a little bit. I want to hear some of your thoughts on that.
It's funny, I had the goal too of 100,000 followers, but now I'm thinking it's more about the individual follower.
Which you cleanly hit.
I hit it, yeah, it's growing. Thank you guys. But now it's the individual followers. I really feel like I met someone who bought me a bottle of 13-age scotch for my birthday. And he followed me on TikTok and said, you motivated me to come to Medellin. And the second I met him, we hung out. I rented a mansion. He was invited to the mansion. He got to hang out. Like, I love meeting people because I'm trying to make the stuff I wanted to see 3 years ago to let people know this is possible. Dude. And like, I will go have a drink. If any of you guys are in Medellin, I'll meet up with a drink 100% because I feel like we're all in the same boat. We're like single guys that want to solo travel. That's basically, and there's a lot of us who want to do that because whether it's the dating pool in America, whether it's like having an adventure, whether it's seeing the world, or I know a lot of people who are Colombian who want to come back to Colombia because they've never been there, like of Colombian descent, so you want to return to the homeland.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that, and I think gaining followers has become a little less important to me. It still is.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you feel great. I feel great being able to show someone.
Of course.
Yeah, oh man, the dopamine rushes of like when your stuff starts going viral and stuff. But now I'm trying to move more towards really strong community more than anything.
How are you going to manage that? Like,
Oof.
We're talking about 100K plus, what are you, 116?
Something like that.
Something around there at the time of recording this podcast. It'll definitely be more by the time we put it out.
Yeah.
But, that being said, that's like 2 football stadiums full of people who are following you already.
It's weird to think about.
How do you think that you're going to manage one-to-one at scale?
Yeah, that's true. I think I would have to do events. I'm thinking of doing like, hey, I'm in once a month. I'm in Brazil this month. All my followers who are in Brazil, we're doing this event at this spot. I'd love to come out, hang out, whatever network, whether it's a party or not. And that might blow up that in my face. That might be a horrible idea, and I might stop it immediately. But that's where my mind is at. But Gary Vee, coming back to him, he always says do things that don't scale while you're not at that point yet. So if I ever grow, like I can do this, not like anyone who DMs me on Instagram, I respond. Anyone who DMs me. And I do voice recorded responses. I spend like an hour a day responding to every single Instagram message because I want. First off, I can do it now. Like I can do it. And then when push comes to shove and my community needs to show up, like there was a post where I wanted to get this brand deal about in Bali, and I just asked them and then everyone's like, this guy spent his time to respond to my Instagram message. I'll spend the time to comment his name on a thing. You know what I mean? So I think it works. It works. And hopefully I can still do that with mass scale, but I don't know if I even get there, but that's the plan, is to try to get to super mass scale.
So Austin, it's funny, Jamie and I were actually talking about this. We were talking about kind of like where you're at right now, and like I don't even think you realize what you're sitting on.
Really?
I don't think,
okay.
I don't think you even realize where you're gonna take this community and what you're gonna do with it, because I think it's gonna have a global impact. You're literally a digital bromad. Like you're actually doing that right now, and you add that, you know, you're talking about creating content for 3 years ago, which a concept I love, by the way, but imagine 3 years from now.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. I feel, I don't know.
It's crazy, man.
It's weird to...
Do you ever think like entrepreneurship, do you ever get that itch?
I don't know. I want to stay away from it as long as possible.
Okay.
And I want to just do stuff that I would like to, because luckily I still have my job. I still have like even though it's not like my main, if my manager's watching, sorry, Sam, he watches some of my stuff though, but he's super cool and supportive. But like, I have plans to, if this were to take off, like you said, I wake up passionate about this. Right. Like, and I'm passionate about my job too, but I wake up ready to go, fired up about this. And so I totally forgot the question, but I want to get to that point. And hopefully I do. So
it's like being a creator first is what's always been more important to you right now, as opposed to, you know, building a business off the back of it.
Exactly, and I think that was one of my strong points. I've denied anyone watching from TikTok. I've denied 4 different brand posts. They were not for a lot of money, but they wanted me to promote like a vape pen. They wanted me to promote this millionaire match thing. Yeah. They wanted me to promote all this shit that I didn't like.
Didn't align with you and who you are as a person.
Exactly.
And that's genius that you're doing that, and you should put out content about that, by the way.
Okay, I'll try it.
But because now you're kind of gaining even more trust with your audience, that when you do make a partnership, that you're actually doing it because you actually care about this product or service, and you actually use it, and that to me is like way better. And this is what I love about podcasts, right? Is for a lot of podcast hosts, I actually trust, like if I'm listening to a podcast, I subscribe to it and I love it. I will trust the host's recommendation on a product or service 100 times more than any TV commercial or any billboard or anything like that. Yes. Because it's like, even if this person's lying and they're just chilling out for some whatever vape thing. If this person who I look up to and I already spend hours of my week and month and life digesting their content, there must be a reason for that. And if I'm already doing that, their word means a lot. So your reputation is pretty much everything in this game. Yeah. And that's why I've kind of made a concerted effort myself with my brand and podcast and everything. I only work with my own brands. I only pump my own shit. That's my ego talking.
But sure, but that's like, real.
I don't want to I don't need 100 protein bars.
And the pro is that we don't need the money. Like that's what helped me. Like if I was a struggling creator, and then like that $400 would go a lot further. But you know, I'm a computer scientist and I have a good job and I make money, so it's like I'm not gonna sell. This is me on a vape commercial. I'd be like, you know, like I don't vape, so it would be horrible.
Yeah,
it would be horrible, and I don't want to do that to people who actually trust me.
100%, man. Kind of winding things down here a little bit. I mean, I know we could sit here and just chat for hours, man. I feel like we're just getting started here, but you know, one of the things that I kind of want to talk to you about is you talk about this Bali deal. And
oh yeah,
and so it's one of the places you're going to be going to next.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk about that trip and what's next?
Yeah. Well, I mean, am I going there?
Or like, are you?
I don't know. I don't know.
I thought you wanted to go to Asia at some point, and like you wanted to do some travel around there.
Well, I've always been wanting to go to Asia, and I actually agree with the product because, like, I want to lounge out all day and be able to jump in the pool and get out and get on a work call and exercise and just be. Look, I'm wearing sweatpants right now. I like comfortable shit I can do stuff in all the time. Exactly. So that was actually a brand that I was like, oh, I fuck with this. I want to go to Bali, and my next trip is Asia. So everyone, regardless, digital Bromad Adventures. I'm going to Korea first, the Philippines. I'm definitely got to go to Bali.
I definitely confused the Philippines then, because I remember you telling me something about Asia, but like I guess my brain crossed paths.
Okay.
Bali deal.
Yeah, no. I've been talking about the Philippines.
Yeah.
I think last night even we might have said something. I've been trash.
Last night's a bit of a blur.
Yeah, it is. I was supposed to not drink today, but it's good. It's good hanging out with you, man. It was great. But no, yeah, I want to bring the digital Bromad to Asia and see. A lot of my stuff is for single men, and so just like different cultures and being authentic with it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I can't get an Asian girl because or whatever, you know what I mean? Like just really talk about this is the different dating pools. Mm-hmm. This is how the culture is. Like I'm really excited to go explore that and just relay it as authentically.
So does the digital Bromad, you know, the brand, and you're making a lot of content, I guess it is single men for the most part that are, I mean, the big booty Latina video alone.
Who doesn't like big booty Latinas?
You know, but like with all that, you know, what happens when the digital Bromad, you know, settles down or finds a girl?
Yeah,
Like, you know?
I've been thinking about that. I think that I have this,
or even does he?
I do want a family one day. So I'm gonna settle down. But I'd like to see all the places where I can still give advice. You know, I'm like a retired player as a coach or some shit like that. you know what I mean. But in all honesty, I do want a family. I love kids. I do want to settle down one day. I'm 31, so it's like I got a little bit of digital Bromad stuff left. But yeah, this next year I'm touring the world and just figuring out as much as I can.
Dude, I love it, man. I'm really, really honored to have had you on the podcast today. I know that we could keep going forever and ever, but I think this is the first of many. We're going to do a lot.
Oh, I hope so, man. I hope so.
I really appreciate having you on,
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And for everyone listening, it's not that deep.